choose a donor of another race and raise a biracial child, or buy sperm from an unregulated apps and online groups. Is that all we are? You know that if you get what you need, that means another sister won't get what she needs if she wants a black donor too. I'm crying, fasting, praying, and believing for a donor. Candice Benbow. Wow.
Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's a bet. It's a bet. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat. Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's a bet. It's a bet. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat. I ain't never really want to flex my gifts, but I think it's my time.
So I'm going to hammer through this. I'm going to try to just smoke through this best I can. I might skip through it just a little bit. There's a couple of points in this article that I want to touch on. So I've already done a video on the video that came with this, but there's a couple of graphs in here that I wanted to just look at for a split second. So apparently America has a black sperm donor shortage. Black women are paying the price. Interesting. Black men count for fewer than 2% of sperm donors at cryobanks, and their vials are gone in minutes. So black men, apparently your baby batter is valuable. I will link this article in the description, and I'll pin it to the comments at the top. But cryobanks reported that the number of black women seeking their services to conceive rose sharply during the pandemic after increasing steadily over the years. Black women between ages of 35 and 45 are far more likely to retain unmarried than a woman of other racial groups, according to the latest census data, with 44% of non-Hispanic black women unmarried compared with 16% of white women, yet black sperm donors represent just a fraction of the available supply, fewer than 2% of the country's 4 largest sperm banks, according to an analyst by the Washington Post. So America's black sperm donor shortage. Oh, Jesus. So the severe shortage is forcing black women who need donor sperm into a painful choice. Choose a donor of another race and raise a biracial child, or buy sperm from an unregulated apps and online groups. Is that all we are? Just sperm? They really just think we're sperm donors. Huh. They really just think we're sperm donors. The reasons for the shortage are myriad. Failure among cryobanks to recruit black donors. Go figure. A selection process that demands three-generation medical history, which can be challenging for black men who may not have access to quality health care. Donors with felony convictions. Mistrust of the medical profession by black men because of the legacy of historical discrimination. Search for the donor sperm usually takes place on the cryobank website, where someone can browse profiles of available donors with limited personal and genetic information. Baby pictures of donors may be available for an additional fee. On average, sperm sold. Here we go. Let's find out, what's the baby batter worth? What's the baby batter worth? All that other stuff says, on average, sperm is sold for $950 to $1,300 per vial. Donors receive $70 to $150 per donation. The cryobanks sell a fixed number of vials per donor to limit the number of children fathered by any one donor. So wait a minute. Where's my calculator? Hold up. Hold on. $1,300 on the high end. So even if they don't even give us a good rate on the juice. They don't even give us a good rate on the juice. Is that negotiable, you think? They flat out saying it, selling it for $950 to $1,300, but then only getting 70 to 150 per donation. You clearly don't need the juice that bad. Come on. What is happening? This is crazy. The fact that this is even a thing is some bullshit, but whatever. You know that if you get what you need, that means another sister won't get what she needs if she wants a black donor too. I'm crying, fasting, praying, and believing for a donor. Candice Benbow. Wow. Wow. Let me read that again. Wow. You know that if you get what you need, that means another sister won't get what she needs if she wants a black donor too. I'm crying, fasting, praying, and believing for a donor. Stay here, black man. Come back, black man. Stay here, black man. For what? But anyways, here's one other thing that I wanted to touch on, and it's kind of a sore spot. So if you're easily triggered, this is probably not the time to talk about it. Black women are predispositioned to other fertility hurdles. They face higher risks in conceiving and carrying a child. They are more likely to suffer uterine fibroids and other conditions that can compromise fertility, and 3 times more likely than white women to die of a pregnancy-related cause. And you know that whole 3 times more likely thing, it's interesting because do African American women have the most baby deletions? So per capita, the lovely ladies have roughly deletions at twice the rate of the white, 2 to 3 times more than the white women. So I kind of wonder if the lovely ladies have so many of these situations, is it by the time they get to here, now they're having issues? I don't know. I'm not a woman. Maybe it has something to do with it. Maybe not. The power of black motherhood, finding joy beyond the numbers on maternal mortality. The women all said they love their kids, but they regret their lack of options. When you're in this position, sometimes you have to take what you can get. A caseworker in Chicago who had a daughter with a set of twins using the sperm donor of Indian origin. By Friday, February 2021, Reese Brooks had spent months on an increasingly desperate effort to conceive a child with a sperm from a black donor when she drove 2.5 hours from her apartment in Newark, Delaware, to Fairfax Cryobank in Northern Virginia to pick up a 10-pound cryo tank containing 2 vials of sperm from a 5', 10-foot Peruvian man who practices MMA fighting. This can't be real. Like, it can't be. After spending $8,000 on 3 failed insemination procedures with the sperm from the cryobank Brooks had conceived in 2019 using sperm from a close friend who was black, but lost her son, Kemet, after she delivered prematurely at 24 weeks. When Reese felt ready to try again, her friend was in a new relationship and didn't feel comfortable being her donor. When she filtered for a black donor on the cryo site, she said she was left with 3 options out of more than 100 donors, 2 of whom were positive with CMV, which I don't know what that is. And this is what Uncle D was talking about. Shout out to Uncle D. There are so many good African American men out there. Maybe they just don't know how much they're needed to create families. That's not a family. Like Uncle D said, it's a woman and some kids. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and leave this right here. Ladies and gentlemen, times are getting strange. Even if you would have said some of these things 4 or 5 years ago, you'd probably sound like a crazy person. But nah, young men, you know, be careful who you lay down with. Be careful who you associate with. You know, times are about to get really hard economically for a lot of people, and some of these ladies get desperate. They do desperate things, and it's in my impression that some of these ladies want to have kids as a companion, and that really makes the whole buy a dog, die alone thing make a lot more sense these days. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave that there. I mean, this is crazy. Let me know what you think in the comments. I mean, I'm going to tear this apart. So.
Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life.